In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact anti-routine that took me from broke to taking home over 7 figures a month in income, not revenue, in income by the time I was 28 years old. And the reason I'm making this video is because I see stuff on the internet all the time of people talking about their $1 million routines and all this stuff. And all the guys that I know who are like me, are like worth 9 figures and up, don't do it that way. All right, and so I'm going to walk you through what people actually do and the things that I had to go through in those seasons of building that are not commonly talked about. As additional note, there's for some reason there's like a half-second freeze that happens like every so often on the video. It's something we're fixing on our side, but my audio continues to go throughout, so don't sweat it, and we are fixing it. Either way, welcome to Hormozi Nation and enjoy the video. All right, so what I want to do is actually walk you through the paradigm shift that happened in my life when I went from looking up bankruptcy lawyers to 18 months later taking home over $1 million a month when I was 27 years old. All right, this is half a decade ago. But there was a very distinct process that happened that transformed my life, and it did have to do with a routine, which is like the most fodder thing ever that most people ask me for, which is like, hey Alex, what's your routine? But what I'm going to do in this video is break down to you why the questions that people are asking are wrong, because they're asking them the wrong way. The first thing here is that most people have the assumption that when they say, hey Alex, can you tell me your routines? Can you tell me your rituals that you do every day? They think to themselves, there's something that Alex is doing that I am not doing, and therefore if I do those things, I will get that result. And I will tell you that you are wrong, and here's why. Most people, most champions do not have something that you do not have. They lack something that you have. For a champion in the physical realm, a lot of times they don't have an off switch. They just keep going. You have an off switch. It is their lack of it, which is what drives their success, right? And so to the same degree, you probably do things every single day that you should not be doing. And so what I want to introduce to you is a concept of the anti-routine as the most productive routine that is humanly possible for you to accomplish what you want. And so during this 18-month period of time when I went from almost bankrupt to taking home $1 million a month when I was 27 years old, was the following changes that ended up happening and mindset shifts. So I'll walk through the mindset shifts, and then I'll walk through the tactics that actually changed my life in a real way, the things that I stopped doing rather than things that I started doing that ended up yielding the results that were outsized. So number one is obviously just shifting the perspective of I need to do more things and I need to add more things to my routine, when in fact you need to stop doing things that you're currently doing. All that remains is the work to be done. And then you become very clear about why you are not being effective. So number one is that priorities mean two things cannot be equally important. And here's the mentally challenging thing about this, is that when you work on something, and let's say I spend 30 minutes on this thing and I spend 30 minutes on item B. If I spend 30 minutes on both things and I say this one's more important than this one, I can say that, but that's not reality, because I basically just said they were both important, which means neither of them are, which is why most people cannot get shit done, because they cannot say no. And so the theme of this entire video is the word no. All right, and so this is the word that I will give you that you can tell yourself, you can plaster it on your wall, is the season of no. And I'm not saying it's forever, I'm saying it's just for right now. A lot of people don't need new things to add to the routine. You need to have a routine of saying no and an anti-routine, and that is the thing that's going to yield those outsized returns on productivity. You can't say yes to everything, and therefore it means that you can't do two things with different levels of importance. It's either important or it's not important. If it's important, it means you say no to everything else. All right. So if you say this is the priority, then it means you do not do other things besides that thing. That is how it is a priority. That is how you literally prioritize. Number two is that from a communication perspective, one of the things that I had to really understand, and I'm a pretty people-pleasing person, I enjoy other people, like I'm social, is that when people communicate with you, when people reach out to you, when people text you, when people email you, they actually have an implied ask within the communication from you. It's actually a take. And what that take says is that there's a request to reply. All right, they're asking you to do something, which is to reply to the message. And to illustrate why you can't do this at scale is because let me imagine right now that 500,000 people text you. Do you owe them all a reply? The answer is no, because you couldn't literally do anything else in your life besides reply to those people if that's what you did. And so here's what's crazy. Most people have the time to reply and conflate the fact that they have time with the fact that they are obliged, they are obligated to reply. And so when I show you that 500,000 text example, it's to show you that if I can remove the time from your brain, that means it would be physically impossible for you to reply. You realize that the obligation to reply never existed to begin with, all right? And so during this season of no, during this anti-routine period of time, what I did during that 18 months was I stopped replying to people. And not only that, and I'll get to the tactics of how I did that in a second, but I just stopped replying altogether. And this was a huge thing for me. It was very, very difficult for me. And I'll give you the actual tactics around what I said. The next thing, I realized that all of the events and masterminds and coaching programs mostly served other social, they were mostly for social needs. They were not because I had a problem that needed to be solved. And so I ended up going to a mastermind, getting what I needed, and then I didn't show up to that same mastermind for the next 18 months. And then from there, 18 months later, I was like a huge success story in the mastermind. And it wasn't because I got what I needed, and then I spent the rest of that time executing, and there was no point to me going back because I knew what needed to be done and it needed doing, and that was it. Here are some of the tactics that I ended up implementing during this period of time that massively changed my life because it got me to stop doing everything that I was doing so that all that remained was the work to be done. All right. So number one is that I changed my phone number. I changed my phone number because all these people were always asking me to reply. And so there's the actual time of communication of the constant texting back and forth, all the interruptions, but also the, hey, you got a sex. Hey, can we hop on a meeting? Hey, can I bend your ear? Hey, can we talk about this thing? Hey, do you want to jam on this topic, right? And as somebody who likes to give, I was always, literally when I looked at my schedule, half my day was like one-off calls that I was like, well, maybe this is an important thing, but you would be amazed at how much blank space appears in your calendar when you say no to everything. I really want to, you would be amazed at how much blank space shows up on your calendar when you say no to everything. So number one is I changed my phone number. What I did is I actually gave my phone number to my EA and I got a new phone number. And the only people that I would choose to communicate with were people that I realized that I needed to, and then I would find their number rather than being responsive to every single person who had mine, which over the years was a lot. So that's the first thing I did. The second, like I said, is a level of talent on your team that you need to still be doing a lot of doing. Like you can't look at what like my routine might be now because I have teams of people that if I say, hey, go do this and do this and do this, I have 20 people who can execute, and those 20 people are going to amount to more work than I can do possibly on my own, and that's because I have leverage. But until you have leverage, leveraging your time appropriately is what is going to move the needle the most. And so from 4 a.m. to noon every single day, I accepted no meetings and only worked on the priority, which meant I did the thing and I said no to everything else. The next thing that I started saying no to was I said no to bedtimes that were different on weekends versus weekdays. I stopped treating weekends different than I treated weekdays. And I had the same bedtime, so I had the same wake up time, so that every single day I could say no to everything during 4 to 12. All right. Now, once you say no to weekends as a different day to weekdays, the next thing is like, well, what are the other things that you changed about your life in terms of allocating your time? What about your health? Well, during this period of time, I only worked out about twice a week, and that was because that was my minimum effective dose for working out, right? Because that was all I needed just to maintain. I wasn't trying to make progress on multiple fronts because it was not the priority. And I'm saying this again because people always want to make, progress on 100 fronts. Sometimes you have so much growth juju. You only have so much, and you have to allocate it to the things that are highest priority. And if it's a priority, then it means saying no to everything else. The next piece is what about foodstuffs? So for me, it was actually more productive for me to fast 1 or 2 days a week because then I could work and not be interrupted by the eating, preparation, thinking, cleaning of food. 2 days a week, I would just have caffeine and bone broth, and that was what I did for the day. And it was super easy. And that way I stopped, I started to lose a little bit of fat while I was at it. The next thing I did was I deleted all social media from my phone. And that is because I realized that I could have an accurate time on my calendar, which was just to post, and I could do most of the apps from my computer. So if you're actually just going there to post, not to consume and interact, you can do most of the social media stuff from your computer. And that's what I ended up doing. So I deleted all that stuff from my phone, and you'd be amazed at your ghost thumb of how addicted you are, because most people spend 3 to 5 hours a day on their phone consuming social media. It's literally the new age of watching television. And we're I can't think about how I can get stuff done. It's if you got those 3 hours back, you would have so much more more stuff done, which goes back to the anti-routine. It's not what you are not doing, which is causing, it's not that there's some secret magic routine that's going to get you there. It's just that most of the stuff you are doing, you need to stop, and you need to enter into a season of no. Those were the primary tactics that I changed during the 18 months of going from almost bankrupt to taking home over $1 million a month when I was 27 years old. And I know I just went straight into the rant here, but if you don't know who I am, my name's Alex Hormozi. I own acquisition.com. I'm a business investor. We have about 6 portfolio companies at this point. We do about $85 million a year. I make these videos because I too was once broke, and I don't want other people to go through the same stuff that I did. And so if I can provide value to you and make sure that my pain was not in vain. I want you to go to your email account, to pull all the contacts that you have in there. Anybody that you've ever messaged or emailed, that becomes list 1. List 2 is I want you to go to every single social media profile that you have. Go to your social media profiles where you can direct message people. So if you have followers that you can DM, I want you to write down every single one of those people. List number 3, pull out your phone, look through your contacts, and I want you to export them. List 1 is all your email contacts. List 2 is all of your social contacts. And list 3 is all of your phone and private personal contacts. If you add all 3 of those together, you will have a shitload more leads than you thought you did. And you're like, wait, you're gonna ask me to contact these people? Slow down, not yet, and we're not gonna do it in a really weird way. I'm gonna show you how to do it in a classy way. This is how I started every business I have and have people thank me for it. The second step is that you pick a platform. All right, so you have all these contacts, but you're gonna have to pick one platform that you're gonna start messaging or emailing them with. Start with the one that you have the most people on. So if you have the most Instagram people, or you have the most email contacts, or you have more people in your phone than any of those, start there. Step 3. But what do I say? You personalize your message. So what you wanna do is you wanna use something you already know about the person or prospect in order to initiate reaching out to them. This is also just called being a human being. What you do is you take 30 seconds, you look at someone's profile and you say, oh, they have got this thing, we have something in common, and you can reach out to them with that as your primary message. So for example, you can be like, hey, saw you got a baby. Hey, saw you switch jobs. Hey, saw you move. Hey, you saw that movie last weekend. It doesn't matter. All you need to show is that you took a few seconds to actually not just blast some sort of message. Step 4, you reach out, and you reach out to 100 people every single day. So let's say you had 3,000 people between all your emails, all your phone contacts, and every single follower across all your social medias. It took you 20 years to send your first DM, and it'll take you 2 minutes to send the second one. Everything must be hard before it can be easy. So just get over the hump, send it, just something so you can realize that you won't die. Step 5, what do I say if they reply? You warm them up. I use a framework that I call ACA. You acknowledge, compliment, and you ask. For example, I can acknowledge and say, oh, so you have 2 kids. You're gonna compliment them about the thing. So it's like, wow, you have 2 kids. You must be a super mom. Working full-time and having 2 kids? When we go to ask, we're gonna tie our ask to the compliment we just gave them. Then we transition to whatever type of question that's gonna lead them to the service we sell. If I was selling weight loss, I'd be like, hey, so you're a super mom. How do you have time to eat right and work out? Wait a second. This sounds like selling. It's not, because we're talking fucking humans. Step 6, invite their friends. When you're talking about this stuff, you're not going to sell them. This is fucking huge. You're not gonna solicit them. You asked a question, they're gonna tell you stuff, and then it's gonna be like, oh yeah, by the way, do you know anyone who's looking for X, Y, and Z? Because I'm opening up a few slots to help people do exactly that. You're just asking them if they know anybody. And since you're friends with them and since you're contacts, you're asking them for a favor. You're not asking them to buy from you. This should make you not feel weird about messaging people. If they say, hey, I'd like to find out more, now what they have done is they've transitioned from a lead to an engaged lead. A lead is somebody that you can contact. An engaged lead is someone who you can contact, comma, who has shown interest in the thing that you sell. If she says, I haven't been able to keep up with my workouts, etc., now they have shown interest in the thing, well then how do I get them to buy from it? We're gonna give them the easiest offer in the world to say yes to. You're gonna make it free. They probably know that you're not that experienced. Just be honest. The reason we do it for free is you say, hey, I'm gonna do all this stuff for free as long as you promise to do 3 things. 1, you actually use my service. 2, you give me feedback on it. And 3, leave a killer review if you think it deserves one. Those are the terms of exchange. The reason I want you to start with that is that 1, it'll get you more reps. 2, you probably suck. 3, you need to learn how to suck less, and you suck less by doing more. And it's way easier to get more people to work with you if you lower the barrier to free. You're actually getting the better end of the deal. You might be wondering why I just mushed the shit out of this banana in my hand. And it's because the launch of my second book, $100 Million Leads, is both nutritious, natural, and will make you lots of money, unlike bananas. But the event itself, where I'll be launching it on Saturday, August 19th, will be bananas. I've spent over $1 million on the event itself, and I'm going to be giving away a secret thing that I've been working on for over 4 years to everyone who's there with me live. And I would love to tell you what it is. It kills me inside that I cannot tell you, but I want the surprise itself to be worth it, and I think it will be. This is a date that you're not going to miss. It's the day after my birthday, and it's my way of giving back to you guys for being so awesome. Click the link, register, and I'll see you guys there. I'll tell you the quick story of Warren Buffett and Ben Graham. Ben Graham was the GOAT back in the day for investing. Warren Buffett was just a kid out of Columbia and wanted to go learn investing. And he offered to work for Graham for free. Graham said, you're getting the better end of the deal. The actual answer was, you're overpriced. So free was too expensive for Graham because Graham knew that he was gonna have to invest more in getting Warren good enough to actually work for him. And so right now, these customers, and they are very much customer because they are exchanging something for your service. They're exchanging their time and their effort and some stuff later that you're gonna have them do. Just because you're not getting paid doesn't mean it's free, but it is monetarily free. So, gather around. I'm gonna give you two versions of this. You say, by the way, do you know anybody who is, describe their struggles, looking to dream outcome in time delay? I'm taking on 5 case studies for free because that's all I can handle. I just wanna get some testimonials for my service or product. And we're being honest because this is a first business and you fucking have no idea what you're doing, so you better not take more than 5 customers on. I just had a girl named XXX work with me to get dream outcome, even though she described the same struggle the person you're talking to is struggling with. I'd like to get more testimonials to show it works across different scenarios. Does anyone you like come to mind? If they say no, here's a really funny way you can respond to that. Just say, haha, does anyone you hate come to mind? Honestly, that's when you'll sometimes get the real response. And that someone tells you they don't want to work with you, even for free, is because there are hidden costs associated with whatever thing you sell. If you figure out what all those hidden costs are, you can eliminate those hidden costs and then be able to charge significantly more for your solution later compared to the other people who charge for it and still include those hidden costs. So I'll give you an example. I got solicited in this exact manner, and a guy messaged me and said, I want to do short form videos for you. You don't have to do anything. I will take all the stuff you already have online and I will make them for you, and I'll even post them for you. Like, you actually just need to say yes. And so I said yes, and guess what? He started making short videos and he started accepting payment because he had removed the hidden costs. If people get value from this thing that you have, especially if it's free, they're far more likely to leave positive reviews, give you feedback, and send their friends and family. Once we have that, we have our first customers. Now we go to step 8. You start back at the top. So you had that big list and we hit all of them once and back again. So some of those people, by the way, when you ask them if they know anybody, they actually just give you people that they know that might help, and you get free leads. Because if you reach out to 3,000 people with a free thing, you'll get 5 people who will take you up on it, I promise you. So now you're like, but Alex, I can't work for free forever. Now we're on step 9, start charging. Once people start referring, that's when you know you were good enough to start charging. When this happens, all you do is you go back up to the script that I just read to you and you change free to 80% off. And you say that for the next 5. What do you do after that? Change the 80% to 60%. After you get those 5, change to 40, then to 20. Then you're at full price. But guess what? It doesn't have to stop there. You can go 20% over. You can go 40% over that because there are no rules. And if at that point you're way better, you may merit that because of the value that you deliver. Because ideally, you're charging full retail, but now you're at 10x the value. The value that you have done has gotten better because you figured out from the feedback that these people that work with you for free have told you so that you can make it even better for people who pay you. Once you have those people and you started transitioning, congratulations, you are in business and you are making money. You will at some point reach capacity. When you fill up all your slots with free people and discounted people, now you have true scarcity. And so you can ethically sell with conviction that you really don't have that much room. They will desire you more because you are scarce from a resource perspective. And then they will pay the same or premium in order to work with you. And then you turn to your free person and you say, I am accepting somebody who's paying full boat in order to do this. If you would like me to keep doing this for you, you would have to start paying to match them. Are you comfortable with that? If they're not, no sweat, because all you did is you help them for free. And you say, no worries, can I get the killer review you asked me for, or I asked you for? And those free people, you have to love and cherish them more than anyone else in your life, because they're gonna get you business in 3 different ways. 1, they're gonna leave you reviews that are gonna get you business. 2, they're gonna send you people that are gonna get you business. And 3, they themselves may transition into paying you, which will also get you business. Don't think short, think long, and you'll make long money. Now you have paying customers, you're reaching your capacity, you're consistently raising your price because now there is more demand than you have supply. And we have artificially created a condition for profit. So what's the 10th step? Keep them warm. You've got this big list of people. Check in like a human being. Provide value to them on a regular basis. When you do that, you continue to reinforce and deposit goodwill in the audience, because what will happen eventually is you won't even need to ask them because you've provided enough value. You start posting enough testimonials, enough results, talking about some of